there have been no restrictions. And the number of internet users in Azerbaijan is more than 80%. Can you imagine the restriction of media in a country where internet is free, there is no censorship, and there are 80% of internet users? We have millions of people on Facebook. How can you say that we don't have free media? This is, again, a biased approach. This is an attempt to create a perception in Western audience about Azerbaijan. We have opposition, we have NGOs, we have free political activity, we have free media, we have freedom of speech. But if you raise this question, can I ask you also one? How do you assess what happened to Mr. Assange? Is it a reflection of free media in your country?
We're not here to discuss my country.
Let's discuss.
No, President
In order
Aliyev.
to accuse me, saying that Armenians will not have free media here, let's talk about Assange. How many years he spent in Ecuadorian embassy? And for what? And where is he now? For journalistic activity. You kept that person hostage, actually killing him morally and physically. You did it, not us, and now he's in prison. So you have no moral right to talk about free media when you do these things.
Returning to the conflict.
Better return to the conflict, because this is not what you like. You like only to accuse, only to attack. But look at the mirror. Look, I tell many times, before coming and lecturing us, and in your question, accusing me, it's not a question, it's accusation. You talk like a prosecutor. Why? If you're so democratic and so objective, why you keep Assange in prison? For what? You keep him in prison because of his journalistic activity.
I'm not keeping him in prison, President Aliyev.
But you don't like this.
It's not a question of don't like.
You are not used to it.
It's not the subject of our interview.
To attack.
It's not the subject of our interview. And with respect, President
It is not
Aliyev,
the subject of interview, but you raise it.
You raised it.
No, you raised it.
You raised the case of
said
Assange.
Armenians, if you don't have a free media in your country.
Hello, everybody. I am Brian, and I just wanted to show that video. Please go to Adam Krigler's Twitter page right there, and it's a wonderful video. I am Brian with Maximum Libertarian. I'm joined here today by
Dean Davis. How you doing, everybody? It's talking about free media, free speech, and man, he hit that on the nail. We don't have,
absolutely.
We don't have free media here. We're corrupted by the liberal media for the most part in this country, and it's ridiculous. They take the rights of specifically libertarians and people that speak anything against the Democratic Party away from you. I mean, Fox, who allows, and a couple of them that allow Republicans, but it's always unfair to the third parties because we can't really get a spot to speak. So it's always interesting to hear things like that, and I 100% agree with the gentleman about us having corrupt media.
So, first and foremost, thank you for joining us. If you haven't already, please click the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and then what should they do, Dean?
You should always smash the damn thing, and then make sure they go and share it with their friends.
What's the thing? Smash
the
what?
Like button. The like button.
There we go. The like button.
And share the damn thing with your friends, so we can all talk, and you can hear about liberty.
Absolutely. Well, today's topic is typically we try to do political things.
$1 billion.
But what we want to talk about today is some of the cast members of Saturday Night Live need a safe space because of Elon Musk. He might trigger them. Do you remember back in the good old days, Dean, when we would aspire to be like someone? You know, you see someone, you say, I want to be like him. I want to be like her. I want that character. I want that innovate. You know, they've got such a brilliant they've got this, they're just thinking and trying to come up with different ideas. And you're like, that's who I want to be like. And people would say, yes, do it. And, you would work really hard to get to that level. And now, look at this. Saturday Night Live.
An example is some people want to be like, a certain president. Some people are like in the weather industry, want to be like Jim Cantore on the Weather Channel. some people want to do, they inspire to be certain people, how certain people are. And that was the old days. Now we have cancel culture and triggered people. So we can't do anything without getting smacked on the hand for saying something or
Well,
censored.
the problem that I'm having here is it's not even a cancel culture. They're being triggered because he's wealthy, because he has. Now, granted, the way that Tesla has been situated, they get a lot of government handouts. They got a lot of government subsidies. That being, push that aside because that's a whole nother topic. But
The
this
space
man,
program, he's re-innovating the space program. I mean,
right?
Donald Trump talked about the Space Force. Well, let's talk about Elon Musk and all the rockets and the cool pictures people have been getting of these rockets that have been going up from SpaceX, going off the NASA pads. This is the future of space. This
Right.
man is very smart, and yes, he's wealthy, but he's an extremely smart man.
Well, who cares if they're wealthy? Who cares if he was poor? Who cares if he was middle class? The thing is, these actors, comedy is, now granted, neither one of us are comedians, but
Sometimes we try to be,
let
but
me just say this, that neither one of us, but comedy is supposed to not be safe. Comedy talks about things that are that are mean, that are really awkward, that whatever the case might be. This set of now I don't watch Saturday Night Live anymore, and nor do I know of anyone who watches Saturday Night Live. When I asked my niece, who was 15, and I asked my other niece, who was 26, I said, "Do y'all watch Saturday Night Live?" They say no. So it's not even that.
Why watch it? It's turned into a shit show.
Well, that's what it is. But if you look right here, let's just go over here. A source revealed that the New York Post, that the SNL boss Lorne Michaels has a policy where he won't force performers to do anything they don't want to. So Bowden Yang, A.D. Bryant, and other cast members who are triggered by Elon Musk's hosting stint will not have to appear if they don't want to.
Which is perfectly fine and dandy because really, you have a choice. Nobody should force you to do anything you don't want to do.
But they're comedians.
I agree, but it's
and
still
that's
a force
their
thing.
job.
Yeah,
And look,
but they have a choice not to do the job too.
Back in the 80s, early 90s, it was early 90s, Andrew Dice Clay performed on Saturday Night Live. And I remember there were several female cast members who did not want to perform with him and boycotted it because, Andrew Dice Clay was a sexist, homophobe, misogynist. That was a character that Andrew Clay made up in his character, Andrew Dice Clay. But no one wants to hear that part. Andrew Clay is a fine guy. And the Dice character is actually a funny thing. But of course, nowadays they would want to have him on a stake and burning him. So, but this is just so sad to me that Saturday Night Live has joined this nonsense. And if you look down here, it says, speaking historically, if a cast member is unhappy, they don't have to do it. That's what Lorne Michaels said. And the controversial billionaire, CEO, and SpaceX Tesla magnate is scheduled to appear this May 8th to host the show.
That's this Saturday.
Correct. Very sad. And of course, this individual, Andrew Musk, I guess that's how you say his name.
Yep.
Only CEO I want to sketch with is Cher O'Terry. That's one of the writers there. Of course, that was a former cast member here. Yep. And then this is what really makes me happy is A.D. Bryant, a long-standing cast member, shares this wonderful post by the socialist himself, Bernie Sanders. The 50th wealthiest people in America today own more wealth than the bottom half of our people. Let me repeat that because it's almost too absurd to believe the 50th wealthiest people in this country owns more wealth than 165 million Americans. This is moral obscenity. What do you think about that?
Well, what do you think? It's socialism. Socialism never worked, never will work. Not in this country, at least. It hasn't worked in any other country. It hasn't worked in Venezuela, Cuba, They say that Denmark was, but it wasn't. I mean, or Finland. It's just bull. It's a load of bull. I mean, it's coming from a socialist himself, Bernie Sanders, who loves free stuff, and he's just like. It was good at when he had when I don't know if you got to see when Biden spoke. I got a part. I watched a part of it, but the most important part was at the end. I snapped a picture. It was three people: the socialist, Bernie Sanders, the president, or if you want to call him that, good old Joe Biden, and the racist Maxine Waters. So you have those three standing there getting photo ops together. Where do you think this country's going with those three? I mean, that's a dangerous coalition right there. It's for socialism. It's bad for trying to keep people calm and with issues with race, because Maxine Waters has done so much bad things for that. It's really ugly, and then Biden's just puppet. So let's talk about what he's done now. He wants people to pay taxes on people that they like. If they get their house, they want them to pay the taxes after death. He wants to basically force the families to pay for the death of their family member or whatever. If they inherit stuff, pay taxes on it. So he basically is to try to raise money. He's going to raise taxes on people. So that's pretty awful. Where did that go?
Well, the real reason that I showed the video on Twitter at the start of this and it was showing the Armenian president talking to the BBC reporter, and the thing is, the media has done such a bang up job in not reporting the truth that you have idiots like this who are they only hear one side. You've got Twitter, you've got Facebook, you've got YouTube. They shadow ban using the algorithms.
They shadow ban people that are popular.
People don't get to hear the truth, and then in turn they get this. Oh, it's a wonderful idea that only 50 people are so wealthy, and the other 165 people are so poor. But as one person said before, and I remember listening to it, said, name one poor person who hired another individual. And you can't. You need the wealthy, and everyone should be striving to be wealthy and raise the wealth that they are.
And you get there by being an entrepreneur and working your ass off.
Right. But what we have now got, and you're seeing it here in the state of Virginia, you have math being labeled a racist tool for some reason. And they were going to lower, like where everyone was going to stay in the same math class until, I believe, 11th grade. But that got pushed back. And my friends, comedy should not be, it should be, Dave Chappelle is the best comedian out there today by far, because he pushes the envelope. He has FU money, so no one can cancel him. Yep. And Saturday Night Live is a dwindling, dying breed that's going to continue to dwindle and die because they're bringing their wokeness into the television screen. And former writer and is Seth Meyers. He's on after Jimmy Fallon, and he said, we've lost half the people who used to watch us, but we've probably already gained them back. So we don't really care if they ever come back. Trust me on this. While they spent 4 years trashing Trump, which is fine, they lost 50%, over 50% of their viewing audience, and they're already dying. Saturday Night Live, exact same thing. They lost the audience. Now they're going to hope that their wokeness brings people back, but it's not. You can cater to them, you can bend the knee to it, but I'm telling you straight.
It goes for everything, though. The wrestling business the same way with WWE. They're dwindling too. It's horrible management by millionaires and billionaires that are politically motivated, and they're politically motivated and they're on the wrong side of the aisle, and they're going to lose. And I hate to say it for the state of Virginia when it comes to the governorship. McAuliffe was horrible the first time around. We're probably going to get him again. And then we're going to have probably Sam Razul as the lieutenant governor. So if you think socialist policies are bad in Virginia right now, wait until that happens, buddy. It's going to get ugly because I don't think the GOP has anybody that's even strong enough to face any of the Democrats at this point. I hate to say it. It's a losing battle for the Republican Party right now. They don't have a strong candidate.
Well, that's a whole nother story for another day, and that we can talk about on Saturday. But I just wanted to let people know that the Saturday night cast, they need a safe space because, comedy worked so well when they cared about your feelings, not worrying about the 7 dead words you can't say on television that George Carlin spoke about. They do not care about Richard Pryor or Eddie Murphy or Red Fox. We can go down the list of these people, Don Rickles, who have always been pushing the envelope, but now, thankfully, Saturday Night Live, the not ready for primetime players, have continued to bend the knee, and because of a wealthy individual is going to host it, they're going to be triggered, and that means they are complete trash.
Correct.
So I have nothing else to say about this subject. Just spread it to all your family and friends. Let them know. You remember Saturday Night Live, that show you used to watch? Well, listen to the dumb thing that they need now. They're morons. So
it's about as sleepy as Joe Biden.
What's that?
It's about as sleepy as Joe Biden.
Absolutely. So if you haven't already, guys, please click the subscribe button, hit the notification bell.
Smash the like button, share with your friends. Have fun doing it.
And then also, please follow us on Twitter because you can read the article that we spoke about that we ran across the screen. It's on our Twitter page at We Are Max Lib. And finally, I should do this at the front of the show, and I will start doing it from this day forward. But please go to Dean Davison for Delegate at davisonfordelegate.com. His Facebook page is Davison for Delegate 2021. There's his Twitter handle. Please go there. Give him a like. Give him some money.
And if you're in the area this Sunday, come out to Tractor Supply in Bedford. If you're in the area, come to Bedford, Virginia. Tractor Supply. If you live in my district, come sign my petitions. We're just trying to make sure that I'm definitely on the ballot, and so we can kill the status quo that has been going on in this district for way too long.
Absolutely. That's the way we're going to end it. So until tomorrow, we will see you later. Good night.